Hello and welcome to part 4 of Melodic Shredding with me, Fake Dr. Levin. Before we get into the music stuff, I'd like to give you a quick medical tip, which is that you should blow your nose into a handkerchief instead of into tissue so that you know your snot's always in the same place. It keeps things organized. You run through tissues and then you don't know where they go, but with a snot rag / handkerchief, it's always in your pocket. But enough about that. In this series, we've talked about many different ways to use shred. We've talked about using it as transitional material between melodies. We've talked about using it as a melody itself. And we've talked about how to use it as a texture. And today I'd like to talk about it conceptually as how you could use it to build dynamics. So there's this idea of note density, or how many notes are happening. Basically, how much stuff there is going on. When you have just a simple thing like, let's say, a drum beat and nothing else, and then the bass comes in, and then the keyboard comes in. What you're doing is you're increasing the density of the music by adding parts. And you can do this as an arranger with a band, and you can also do this as an arranger with yourself as just in your guitar playing. So in other words, you can start out by playing with few notes, very sparsely, and increase density in many different ways, playing more than one note at once, playing chords, adding effects that take up more of the audio spectrum, for example, reverb, delay. And another way you can build up the density of your playing is with shredding. So I'm going to just solo over this loop I put together, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on taking very sparse ideas and building the density of the solo by integrating shred. Shred is essentially when you play lots of notes in very little time. And what that means is lots more notes in very little time, which means it's more dense. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to use density to build the dynamics of my solo. Improvising, I was thinking, how can I build this solo and make it get more and more dramatic as it goes on by integrating density, or adding more notes, or in other words, shredding more. And so it was important throughout all that I was still thinking about the melody and about the development of different little themes and ideas, but the use of the shred, I think, pushed the ideas forward and created a sense of growth and climax in the solo. So as a helpful resource for you to go and find out more about shred and learn more about different ways to use it, I asked my friends at Reddit/Guitar to help me put together a list of a bunch of different guitar solos that integrate shred in a way that people liked. So you got all kinds of different opinions and all kinds of different styles and interests, and you can find that list in the description below the video. And it's just this, it's a great list of tons of examples in many different genres of solos that have shredding that's really inspiring to not just me, but lots of people on Reddit. So I didn't want to just do the list myself, because then it would just be my bias. And so this list is like a really well-rounded collection of opinions from lots of people. So I hope you've enjoyed this series. I definitely have. I got a lot better at these concepts in preparing for these lessons, and it feels really good to work on this stuff, and I hope that you have learned a lot. And please feel free to email me anytime if you got some questions, or if you'd like Skype lessons or anything like that. So I'll see you, and I don't know what the next series is going to be, but I never know what the next series is going to be till I start doing it, so we'll see. But hopefully I'll be here next week with another video on some new topic. But until then, don't sue me for musical malpractice. I'll see you next time.